So, I feel like I should talk, but I feel humiliated. Nobody did anything to me. Nothing happened. I just started drinking because I feel really bad. So the premise is, I hope you can hear me, because that thing's on. So there's supposed to be a welcoming party tonight. And the flyer was in English and the host was a woman. And this place, I told you I have some problems with this place, and there's new management, and it's this woman. So I thought, oh great, I'm gonna meet her tonight. It's like a welcoming party for new people. And it started at 6 and it's like 7:30 and I was there at 6. And all I saw were men and everybody was speaking Japanese. So I didn't know what to do. And I was thinking of, like, they were setting something up. And I was considering asking if they needed help when it was like just like 2 or 3 people. But I couldn't do it because whenever I have to speak Japanese, I just get all mousy and I don't know, I mess up. And I just kind of just sat there like maybe 10 feet away, just waiting for the host to show up. And it was like I waited an hour and a half just looking at my phone and I didn't see any women. And I thought like, oh, if this is a welcoming party, and the flyer was in English, I don't know if I mentioned that. So I thought like, I don't know, I assumed that this meant, oh, okay, at 6, the host is gonna be there. She's gonna look around and say, welcome to where I live. Like, I thought it was gonna be welcoming. I thought it was gonna be a lot different. But I basically just sat there on my phone for an hour and a half. And then I left and I came back here. And because like towards the end I was just feeling really like I felt my face get hot. Like I was just embarrassed that, like, I felt foolish. Like I thought somebody I don't know, it just didn't work out. And again, I feel out of place here. And I feel like I don't belong here, in this country in general, and in this place, etc. And to add to that, to, just say something humiliating about myself, is before I left, I had this fantasy that I would meet a girl or two and connect with them. And so I cleaned up my room in case people were gonna be over. Like, I really tidied up everything I could think of. And I did this, assuming, like, that's a fantasy, it's not gonna happen. But coming back in utter complete defeat of having talked to 0 people, and then coming back and like remembering that I had cleaned up my room just makes me feel embarrassed of myself. So mentally I'm being eaten alive out here. Besides that, today is Saturday. No. Friday? Today is Saturday. Is it Saturday? Hold on, I need to check this. It's the 15th, so let me... where's my calendar? Let me get my calendar real fast. Oh my goodness, it's Saturday. Okay, it's Saturday. On Thursday, I had a great time. Not here. I went to Tachikawa, to the church there. No, I didn't. No, I went to Tachikawa. I met up with women from the church there. And we went to someone's house and did arts and crafts. That was great. Okay, so hills and valleys, you know. And we made magnets. I don't know how well you can see that. So Thursday, you know, it was the first time, last Sunday I went to the church in Tachikawa, and then the Sunday before that I went to the church in Tokyo. I don't know where in Tokyo. I didn't really talk to anybody there. Well, like, okay, so I'm trying to say this Thursday was like the first time I went out in public with someone else and I wasn't alone, so that was great. And that was 4:40, like 4:50 to like 10 at night, so that was a win, okay, to even all this out. But today's experience, August 15th, was a complete and utter failure. And what's worse is I caught up with that time I got reincarnated with a slime, which I'm really enjoying that anime. I feel like it has a lot of potential, and it could end up being just it's another thing to watch, or it could be like one of my favorite animes of all time, depending on how it progresses, the storyline. And right now my favorite character is Diavolo. Maybe it's the subtitles say B, but I don't know, subtitles can be misleading. Anyway, yeah, like for example, going back to what I cleaned. Actually, I'm already over it. I don't want to talk about that. And okay, so I literally like popped the can, the tab to this, took a sip, and then took 2 sips and then started filming, so I already feel a lot better. Did I say how many, like, when I got down, I was down at 6 p.m. on the dot, and there was like 3 people there, and none of them were the hosts, so I didn't know if anyone was in charge. And my bedtime's been like 7:30 to 8:30 because I get up at 4:30, and I'm at work, remote work. I'm at my desk by 6 a.m. because I don't know if I mentioned this, but I work, there's a small little library here, and the first time I used it, there were 3 desks and 3 monitors. So I was like, oh cool, these monitors are free to use, like first come, first serve. And my PC's in there. So it was great. And then I went back the next day and there were only 2 monitors. And I'm like, maybe one went in for repairs. And then I went in the next day and there was only 1 monitor. And I was like, that's odd. And then I got this terrible feeling because I went in there, I sat down, and I used it. And I had this terrible feeling like, oh my gosh, what if these are personal monitors? And I've been just using someone's personal monitors and they've been getting fed up, and that's why there's no more monitors here except for one, because, you know what I mean? Because they were all different brands, make and models. And so in my head I was like putting myself in someone's shoes, like, oh yeah, I have my monitor and I leave it in the library and I go in there and then this chick is using it, so I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna keep it in my room from now on. So that was a horrible thought that passed through my mind, and it made me stressed out for that work day. But I finished work anyway. And then I messaged the staff through their portal, their website portal, just like clarifying, like, are the monitors in the library public? Because there's only 1 left and there were 2 before. And then they got back to me, and you know, maybe I did mention this because I have a thing like, oh my gosh, if they don't respond within 2 hours, then it's SpongeBob going off in my head, like the paperwork and flames and multiple SpongeBobs running around, like, oh, everybody hates me and they're ignoring me and it's never gonna get resolved. Anyway, they got back to me like 24 hours later and they clarified, like, no, those are for public use. And then another 24 hours passed and they sent out a mass message, and that was like a full week ago, and nobody's brought back the computers, which only adds to my contempt. I don't know if that's the right word for the residents here. So let me go off on the things I don't like. And I was kind of like texting my friend about this, and she's like, yeah, that's a dorm. That you're living in a dorm. That's what dorms are like. And I've never lived in a dorm in college, but she was saying it's basically like this there too. So the shared bathrooms, the ones that are men and women, disgusting. It could be a lot worse, honestly. But it's like, there's got to be like 1 or 2 people at least who are ruining it for everybody else, and that sucks. And it's men, because, you know, they flip the lid open on the toilet and there's dribble where you stand and put your shoes in it. These are house shoes, right? So I leave my shoes outside now, outside the door, because I'll just be tracking in someone's pee. And I don't know if it's the culture out here or what, but it seems like washing your hands is performative. Especially for the men. And it seems like they only do it if they know I'm in there, because they'll like run their hands through the sink for like 1 second and then turn it off. So clearly, if I was in there and nobody was watching, they wouldn't do it. But maybe it's a culture thing, because even in like the train bathroom that I use, there's water, but there's no soap. Like soap isn't a thing out here. You know, I think that's because they expect you to use the bidet. However, based on how shabby it is here, in how I found my room, and how the hallways look and all that, there's no way I'm gonna use that bidet, because if the things that are like in my face every day, that are like, I can't see my hand expressions. If the things that are glaringly obvious around here aren't being addressed, then there's no way anybody's cleaning that that tap where the bidet comes out of. So I'm not using that. And I don't think anybody else is either. Besides that, I think I already mentioned a little bit of like how I found the kitchen when I went in there the first time, and the floor was just nasty. So I won't I'll try not to repeat myself. The one thing I'm still confused about, and the women from church gave me some clarification, is the trash situation. Right? Because I think I went into like they get when you're a resident, when you register as a resident, they give you a whole calendar, and like each day is something different, right? And it goes into how you're supposed to prepare the trash and package the trash, right? And I don't know if, because I live in a dorm, do I package the trash, or is that not my responsibility? So I'm still not clear about that. And so what I've been doing is taking my trash and putting it in other trash. Like when there was nobody in the, you can't see my hand expressions. I've been doing expressive hand gestures this whole time. But I want you, like, I'm right underneath. I'm afraid you're not gonna hear me. So I went to the kitchen when it wasn't occupied, and I just put all my trash. I turned it outside of. I took that, dumped it into the kitchen trash, and then left, because I don't know the rules. But it seems like whatever I know, it's more than other people know. Because I read, like, it seems like I'm the only one doing research here. Because for bottles, you're supposed to crush them. And I looked into the plastic bottle trash can in the kitchen, and nobody was crushing them. That's just one instance. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, but what the women from church told me. If it's rippable, it's paper, meaning it's burnable. And if it's not rippable, it's plastic, meaning it goes in the plastic thing. But this isn't for bottles or containers. Like, rigid plastic is a totally different thing. So if it's like aluminum foil or foam or cardboard or paper or flimsy plastic that's got food on it, if you can rip it, it's paper and combustible. And one of the women from church also confirmed, like, yes, you have to wash your trash. And I literally was like, are you serious? Like, I wasn't joking. I was like, are you dead serious? And she's like, yes. You literally have to, like. And I told these women, like, me coming from California, where, like, it was always pressed into us, like, don't waste water because we're in a drought always, because it's a desert. The concept of washing trash is so foreign to me, and like how much water that wastes is just disturbs my soul. But I'll do it. I'll rinse it at least. And so my system I have here is I have these first two bags. One of them is clean plastic and the other one is to be rinsed plastic. And that's all to be rinsed. And then this paper one, I've had it since I got here. I have not done anything with the paper one because by the time I finished my trip to the kitchen, exploring it and dumping my plastic trash, then someone else walked in and I got spooked and I didn't do my paper trash. But it doesn't smell yet, or I've gotten used to it, but you know, when I leave the room and come back, the smell resets and I don't smell anything. Oh, and then I have this thing for paper cardboard. And the rules for trash say you have to like wrap it up like a newspaper, like both ways, like prepare it. And one time the communal trash area outside, the door was open, so I peeked in to try to get a feel for how everything is organized in there. But it was all like really big cardboard, so I don't know what to do with this little stuff. Anyway, I gotta find a new anime to watch to preoccupy my time until bedtime.